Solutions to quiz 7 for Math 112. We have some triangle. I'll just draw a generic triangle. And we know that, do a little better than that. We got 3 angles. We'll call them A, B, and C. And the way we label these are with the sides of a corresponding letter opposite the side of that angle. In other words, A would go here, B would go here, C would go here. Anyways, what it says is that we know that A is 30 degrees. Okay, this isn't drawn to scale. A is 2, and B is 2 root 2. So what we want to do is find a solution for angle B. Law of sines will work out nicely here. The sine of B divided by B, which is 2 root 2, has got to be the same as the sine of A divided by A. Sine of 30 degrees divided by 2. In other words, the sine of B has to be equal to, let's see, sine of 30 is 1/2. If I multiply this 2 root 2 over there, it would show up on the top. Then that whole thing is over 2. These would cancel out, and I'll get root 2 over 2. And if the sine of B is root 2 over 2, one possibility is that B equals 45 degrees. I guess I didn't specify to use degrees instead of radians, but everything else is in degrees, so you probably leave it as degrees. Find a solution for angle B and use that to find angle C. Okay, so for C, I know that 30 degrees, maybe time to switch colors. 30 degrees, my angle A measure, plus 45 degrees, my angle B measure, plus whatever C is has got to be equal to 180. See, 30 and 45 is 75. So if you do 180 minus 75, you get C is 105. And then finally, we want to find side C. I think the easiest way to do that is to use the law of sines, although there's a couple different ways you could do it. But using the law of sines, we would say that the sine of 105, sine of C, which is the sine of 105, over little c, the length of side C, these are capital C's here, although they all look the exact same when I write them, has got to be the same as the sine of, we can use any of these. Let's see, what would be easiest? I don't know, maybe the A's, because here you get a 2 root 2, here you just get a 2. So let's say it's got to be the same as the sine of 30 divided by 2. Maybe I'll even write here. Or you could have used the sine of, sine of 45, which is what we figured out B was, divided by 2 root 2. So you can set that equal to either of these two things. I'm going to use this one because this is easier. If I solve this algebraically, I get that multiply the 2 over here, divide by the sine of 30 over here, and multiply the C over to here. I get that C is equal to 2 times the sine of 105 divided by the sine of 30. Whoa, what the hell is that? Divided by the sine of 30. And I suppose if you had done it this way, you'd still get an answer. You could say that C is equal to, let's see, multiply that up there, 2 root 2. Sine of 105 divided by the sine of 45. So either of these are correct for, what is this, side C? Angle C, 105 degrees, angle B, 45 degrees. Okay, that's all part A, kind of long quiz. Part B says, do all that stuff again, except now find a second solution for angle B. Okay, so the idea there, let's see how well I can draw a circle. Pretty decent circle. If I'm going to make my unit circle here, that's a horrible unit circle. I could do better than that. Maybe I can do better than that. Maybe I can't do better than that. Okay, there's my unit circle, and I found that sine of B was equal to root 2 over 2. Sine is the height. This height right here is root 2 over 2. However, this height over here is also root 2 over 2. So instead of thinking about angle B here being 45 degrees, I could have thought about angle B as being that thing, which is 135 degrees. So what I'm saying is we could have B equals 135. And if we had B equals 135, we could figure out C. We would say 30 plus 135 plus C is 180. This is 165, so C would have to be 15 degrees. And then if you know those, we can figure out sine C, or we can figure out side C by saying that the sine of, let's see, I guess C is 15. So the sine of 15 divided by side C, tongue twister, is equal to, and then you can use either of these identities just like we did before. Either it's equal to the sine of 30 divided by 2, sine of A over A, or you could say it's equal to the sine of B, which was 135, divided by B, which is 2 root 2. Could do either of these just like we did before, and then solve for C, multiply it up here, multiply the 2 over here, the sine 30 over there, and get C is equal to 2 sine of 15 divided by sine of 30. Or, had you used this one, you'd get that C was equal to, C, 2 root 2 sine of 15 divided by sine of 135. So we got our triangles. There's one solution. There's another solution. Third problem, we have a triangle. Basically, it says use the law of cosines. The law of cosines, one version of it is a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c is equal to c squared. Man, it has me do all of them. These problems are long. Maybe I'll just have you solve for side C. I'm going to ignore this part. And then you can ignore all this part. Because it's basically just repeating what you did in the last problem. If you could do it in the last problem, I'm pretty sure you could do it in this problem. So ignore all that stuff. Just solve for side C and call it a day. So to solve for side C, we got A is equal to 3. So 3 squared plus B is equal to 5. 5 squared minus 2 times A times B, which is 30. Cosine of C, C is equal to 60, is equal to C squared. And if you got all this, that's 34 minus, again, I don't even have to do that. I can just say C is equal to the square root of that mess. Whoa. 9 plus 25 minus 30 cosine of 60. And I think this is something I can figure out. Let's see, the square root of 9 plus 25 is 34. Minus 30 times cosine of 60 is a half. So this is the square root of 34 minus 15. 34 minus 15 is 19. So it's the square root of 19. So that's your answer. That's what C is. Should probably change this. That one was a little easier than the other two, so maybe I make that 6 and make these 7 points each. She got a little more work to do up there. Whatever. Good enough. There's your solution for C, or for number 2, and that is the end of the quiz.